Alright, welcome back to the EE Showdown recorded game series. We've got 50 Shades of Hades against AttyMonsta. 50 Shades is currently up 1-0, and he has gotten a nice win last game on the same map, which is Mediterranean. It was a very, very long game though. AttyMonsta definitely had chances to come back. He almost came back on several occasions, despite losing water very hard in the early game. So we'll see what the players do differently this game and how things work out for both of them. We see 50 has managed to lure the Auroch into his town center range and is gathering it literally right under his town center, so that's really, really good for 50. The Auroch gathers much faster than the pigs, and it also means that 50 won't have to worry about running out of pigs before he gets to the classical age, which can be a really big problem for Greek on Mediterranean if they don't get the hunts lured in. But because he's got the Auroch under the town center, the early game should go really smoothly for 50 Shades. Meanwhile, looking at AttyMonsta's perspective, he's got his dock up in a really, really nice position. It's got these two fish trios right next to it, like this, and really you can ask for a better dock position in my opinion. These two fish trios just absolutely really good dock position. But over here, he's actually got quite a bit of walking time from the dock to the gather sites. This villager, after finishing the dock, walked all the way back to this tree over here, so that's quite a lot of walking time. Maybe it was better to send a pig to the dock and have just the villager work on the pig straight away and send your villagers over to wood. Maybe that would be an idea for AttyMonsta to help his early game go more smoothly. As an Atlantean, you have to do a lot of these little tricks and be really precise and accurate with your build order on this map. Otherwise, you will have idle TC time. It's on Mediterranean. It's just one of the trickier maps to play as Atlantean. AttyMonsta, on the other hand, for some reason, not actually going for the Auroch. He's choosing to gather from the pigs, literally right next to the Auroch. I'm not quite sure why. Really should be using the Auroch when they are this close and can be lured into the range of the town center, since Hunt does gather faster. So yeah, a little bit of a weird early game build for AttyMonsta, but maybe he can get away with it. I mean, if he with some smart force dropping of the fishing ships, he should be able to get away with minimal idle TC time. Looking back at 50 Shades' perspective, he's got 6 villagers on wood. He's got 6 fishing ships as well, though this fishing ship appears to be idle for some reason. He really needs to fix that. And he's going for a temple at 2:30, so that temple is up nice and early, and if 50 Shades has the food for it, he can advance as early as 4:16 without any idle TC time. 50 finally catches the fishing ship and sends it back to the fish trio to gather. He's already got the house prepared, so I expect that 50 is going to be making maybe like 1 or 2 more fishing ships before he ages up. He does have the wood for it, so he's got to remember to start queuing fishing ships again. He's also split his villagers very nicely on both sides of the town center in 2 different pigs. You really don't want to have all your villagers crowding around one pig as Greek, because then they bump into each other a lot and it's really inefficient. Oh, so 50 is going to build a second dock in the archaic age, which is kind of unusual for this map. I really think it would just be better to get out two more fishing ships and just have this dock built later while you are advancing. Yeah. So right now, 50 looks like he's going to have enough food to advance at approximately 4:30. Maybe if he does a better job force dropping the fish, he wouldn't have any idle TC time there. So that was slightly sloppy by him, but overall things should be okay. Should be okay for him. He's got 6 villagers on gold, which is, I think, it's a bit higher than the usual map. Usually Greek players tend to go for 5 villagers on gold on this map, and he's got all his villagers crowded around one wood line, which means that in the short term he's gonna save a storehouse worth of wood, though in the long term it might not be so good to have so many villagers crowding around one spot, since, I mean, this is getting a little bit inefficient, just looking how far these villagers are walking, and also they might be bumping into each other a lot. But this wood line is actually very nice and thick, so you could actually do this if you build an extra storehouse and just have 2 groups of villagers both on the same wood line with 2 storehouses. Meanwhile, from AttyMonsta's perspective, we see that he is going to be up through Prometheus, though a little bit later. It seems that he had a few hiccups in the early game. Probably had some idle TC time. Maybe something to do with these Auroch, maybe something to do with a villager walking so far away from the dock back to the tree. So early game not gone so smoothly for AttyMonsta. He is getting up 3 dots though, so he is playing around Pestilence. Usually Hades players, they're more like they tend to go Athena on this map, but I know 50 did go for Ares last game, and he is known to really love Ares as a god in general, so it makes sense to be prepared for this Pestilence that's happening. So this time 50, he's got his Ajax out, he's got his Cyclops out, and it looks like he's going to be trying to make something happen, make some magic happen with these 2 units. Though the Ajax seems a bit lost for now. The Cyclops is slowly moving up the map, and if we look at AttyMonsta's perspective, he's actually got his 3 Oracles split on both sides. The Oracle does see the Cyclops creeping up the map over here, though I'm not sure if AttyMonsta notices it. His attention is likely being fixated on the water conflicts happening right now. And the Cyclops is going to slowly go up the map and get to this wood line over here, it seems, or go for this dock, either one. And right here, this wood line is very exposed. There's absolutely nothing protecting it, so the a Cyclops here would definitely spell some nasty trouble for our Oranos player in red. In the meantime, it also looks like 50 is doing a good job on the water. Interestingly enough, he has chosen to save his Pestilence, which is likely a good decision if that was because he had scouted the 3 docks coming up. I'm not sure if he has. Actually, yeah, he hasn't scouted the 3 docks. And now we see the Cyclops heading onto the wood line. You see all these villagers needing to retreat from the wood line, all of them having to go back. That's a lot of idle time being forced by these 2 units over here, and there was absolutely nothing over here to defend it. These Oracles aren't there to defend it. Valor on the Oracles is absolutely necessary here to hold it. We don't have a military barracks either, so right now the Cyclops and the Ajax, they see the gold mine of AttyMonsta and they're going ham on the citizens. Meanwhile, a fight is happening on the water, so let's have a look at how it's going. We see the units lost. AttyMonsta, 5 units though, 3 of them were Prometheans, 2 50 Shades, 4. So it's about even. It's about even on the water. So for actually it's a little bit better for AttyMonsta here, actually winning the fight on the water so far. But he definitely is running into a big problem on the gold mine. This Cyclops and this Ajax getting loads and loads of value. In the previous game, you saw the Cyclops just die to the Valid Oracles, but in this game, AttyMonsta, for some reason, choosing not to go for Valid Oracles and instead kept them around for scouting. Probably regretting this decision now, as the Cyclops and the Ajax are putting the pain on AttyMonsta's villagers. Ajax, a little bit out of position here, gets caught between the town centers and the citizens, but man, look at all these citizens. They're not gathering right now. They're busy fumbling around with the Ajax over here and the Cyclops. The Oracle here has finally come, and it looks like they are able to deal with the Cyclops without any issues. But then the citizen here is completely out of position. It's only got 50 health. Where did the citizen come from? Why is it over here? The citizen is in big trouble. It's in big trouble. Will it manage to get away? It looks pretty bad for the citizen. To be honest, I don't think it's going to survive. And yeah, the citizen, it might fall. Oh no, the Ajax is being body blocked by the Cyclops. I don't know if it's going to make it. The citizen stops running and it goes down. This gets smacked by the Cyclops. In the meantime, we have a fight happening on water. It looks like 50 has the boat advantage now. And AttyMonsta, he does not have Shockwave available to win this fight over here. He is pumping out units from both of the docks, and it might be a good idea now for 50 to use Pestilence to be able to outflood Atty, but it looks like he doesn't need to. AttyMonsta, having that huge hiccup in his economy, just not doing that well. Not doing that well in the ship numbers, and falling behind on water. On water, every single ship counts, and like a small difference on just like 3 ships in a fight like this can be an absolute landslide difference. So this harass on AttyMonsta, absolutely huge. And 50, he's taking good advantage of it. He's continuing to put up the pressure. He's taking down his ships, but it looks like his macro could have been a bit better. He's got 300 gold, which could be split a bit better into wood and having some some more arrow ships. He's also missing an extra storehouse on this wood line. Really needs to add an extra storehouse because right now these villagers, they're being very inefficient chopping these trees. But what is important right now is the battle on water, and 50 appears to be winning it. This early harass on the citizens of AttyMonsta, and even being able to pick one of the citizens off, absolutely massive win there for 50. We see the gold start creeping up for 50. You probably don't need 10 villagers on gold just to produce out 2 docks. I think 8 is the right number to be producing triumphs out of 2 docks. But so I guess that with this 10 villagers on gold, 50 wants to go for a second TC fairly soon at some point, instead of going for an all-out fight on the water. You see over here, he's got 15 ships, and AttyMonsta, he's not got many ships out. What is he doing? Oh, he's actually garrisoning the ships right inside the docks. So he's building ships without 50 knowing, but then this barrier comes out, I guess, on accident, maybe? I'm not sure if it was intentional or if it was an accident. But that's not good. This barrier is now out in the open, and over here, 4 barriers also fall into the triumphs of 50. Now the barons pop out for AttyMonsta, but at the moment he does not quite have enough to really compete with 50's army, with 50's fleet, I should say. 50 now going for a second town center. He's got a big fleet. He's confident about the water, and he's still ahead. He's still ahead on the water. He stopped making triremes, and right now he's going to go for a fight with AttyMonsta over here. At the moment, 50 should be winning this fight, but then the reinforcements are coming in for AttyMonsta, and additional triremes are not being trained for 50. Well, 50 is just starting to train triremes now, but only out of these 2 docks. He is waiting for the resources to grab this third town center. So 50 really not caring that much about water, it seems, wanting to go for more of a land boom instead. Perhaps 50, I suspect 50 undervalues water, seeing as last game he did not, after winning water, he did not actually use up all the fishing spots, so he did not enjoy as much of a economical advantage as winning water should have given him. So maybe he doesn't, maybe it's because of this, just like this habit of not actually using up all the fishing spots that you can, that leads 50 to believe water is not that important. So we see 50 right now. He's got his second TC up. He's actually got some food sources over here. So even if he loses water, he's still going to be fine going to the heroic age lately. He's still got 5 pigs. Being able to take the Auroch in the early game, being able to save the pigs is really nice. So he is going to start to work on them. AttyMonsta still queuing bariums. He's got 16 bariums now to 50's 10 triremes. He could definitely be moving in here and taking some fights. He's still got them booked. Looks like he is also going to be taking a second town center, and yeah, these are 2 citizens building the town center, not 1 citizen. And in the meantime, yeah, he's just waiting for a good opportunity. He does not know that 50 has stopped production of triremes. If he did, then he would likely move in, because 17 bariums is way more than enough than he needs to beat these 10 triremes, even if he ends up fighting under 50's docks. You see an eco guild out now for AttyMonsta, just getting his first eco up at 11 minutes in, which is hand axe. I believe it's his first eco up. Yep. That's a little bit late. I'd say, for Atlantean. Though he did get the 3rd dock up preemptively for pestilence, so that probably set him behind a little bit in terms of his wood quantity, so he wasn't able to get the economic guild as soon as he would want to. And we see now that AttyMonsta is pushing in on 50. 50's triremes, there just aren't enough of them to deal with this huge barrier flood. And 50 shades, is he choosing to fight water? Yes, it seems so. He is starting to queue triremes again from the dock, but then if he doesn't pop them inside the dock and he just pops them outside, you're not going to stand a chance to these fleet numbers. What 50 does have going for him, though, is that he has 3 town centers on land. He's booming really nicely on land, and he's also got a small raiding party coming up here. It looks like it's going to find the settlement over here that AttyMonsta is trying to build. This settlement has only been started building recently. It's going to be about halfway done when these units come in, and these units, they're definitely going to be able to deny this settlement, at least temporarily, because there is no military buildings whatsoever, no militaries to defend. But maybe some Prometheans could come out to help defeat these units, since seeing that 50 does not have a hero over here to join this raiding party. Yeah, if 50 made Ajax to come along over here, and Chiron as well, this raiding party definitely would be much more difficult to stop. See the two citizens now being forced back, and the citizens over here are chopping the wood again, feeling unsafe with the presence of these Toxotes and hoplites. You see the buildings being put down for 50. He's coming up now with one villager only. I'm not sure if one villager is enough to get all these buildings done, but yeah, he's coming up and he wants to put the pressure on land. He's lost water completely, but he's still fishing. You gotta be on top of this. You gotta kick your opponent off of the fish once you've won water. Yeah, being able to fish from nine fishing spots when this is the state of water, definitely not something that AttyMonsta wants. Though he is noticing now, and he is going to go stop the fishing operation. Hopefully. We see the really aggressive play right now from 50. He's starting his first military building here. He's moving forward with the hoplites, and AttyMonsta is responding by making 2 military barracks to try and cope with this. The Prometheans are also coming out, and the Prometheans are actually going to wreck these human soldiers that have come in without any hero support. So the Prometheans should be able to deal with this just fine, unless 50 has Ajax or Chiron on the way, which 50 doesn't. And now we see the citizens, they really want to get this TC up, so 6 citizens moving all the way down to this TC over there. The Toxotes are still in the TC though, and the Prometheans are back here, so the Toxotes are going to be able to get a few shots on these citizens. Meanwhile, AttyMonsta is on top of things now. He's stopped 50 Shades from fishing out of 2 of his 3 docks, but really he should be trying to stop 50 from fishing from all of his docks when he's won water. And this dock is going down, so he's not going to have to worry about this dock later, at least. Right now, the Prometheans finally get onto the Toxotes. The Toxotes look like they might just barely fail to pick off this last citizen, and this TC should go up just fine for AttyMonsta right now. But he has got 5 citizens on it, so that's a lot of gather time spent on the citizens. And we see Pestilence come down now. Pestilence was saved by 50. He did not use it on the docks in the early game for water fighting, which is what probably should have happened. And it's not being used on the temple or these military barracks. It's only affecting this counter barracks, which is being built. So I would say that was a rather poor use of Pestilence. It's not going to achieve very much. These buildings right now, they're under the TC, and the Prometheans are here, so AttyMonsta should be able to clean this up without too many issues. But he does have to worry about making a play eventually at some point, because he will lose in the late game against Hades as Oranos. You see 50 now up through the heroic age. He's getting a little bit of harass now onto this gold mine. He also picked off another villager over here, but the heroes are here to deal with the oracles, so they aren't going to be doing that much damage. You see heroic age through Hyperion now for AttyMonsta. So AttyMonsta going for the satyrs. I'm not sure if I like this actually. I feel like Thea would be really valuable here to just give the long-term value from Hesperides tree, being able to potentially block Earthquake, and also just giving you the extra 5 Dryads, which cost no population. Really good power in the long term. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Hyperion is the right choice here for AttyMonsta. See Shockwave coming down over here on the units of 50 Shades, and they're going to be picked off with no problem. If you look at the units lost, 50 Shades is not doing good on the kill death. He's losing loads and loads of units, but not really achieving very much. He did manage to force a lot of idle time on this town center with all the villagers having to go back and build it and just walk all the way here. So, but in terms of the units lost, he's just not killing very much and losing lots and lots of units. You see AttyMonsta, he's on full pop. right now. He should really be deleting some of these bireams to free up the population. But it looks like these bireams are going to be getting in some unit kills onto these shades, arguing onto them and destroying them. So maybe a good idea to keep some of these bireams alive, though you definitely don't need so many. Meanwhile, 50 Shades units are being built in this location, but they aren't doing anything. They're just being killed instantly as they pop out. And 50 Shades has recognized it seems. So he's queuing his units into the buildings, and now they pop out all at once to maybe have a chance at fighting back these Terma. Even though these Terma are heavy Terma, and these hoplites pretty much naked hoplites with no upgrades, these Terma, they're way stronger. Like, not these Terma are way stronger, but the hoplites but should be able to do fine against the Terma. But Chaos comes down, and the small land army that 50 has amassed isn't going to be able to do anything at all here. But keep in mind that is a pretty low value on the Chaos, because it did not get any myth units. In fact, I'm wondering where 50's Manticore is. I don't see where Simple is. His Manticore is just chilling in the back over here. It probably got shot at by these bireams coming here on the way. And 50 looks like he has deleted his temple and built it in a more forward position. I guess he was tired of the shades getting picked off, and also this means that when 50 goes mythic, his Chimera will be popping out right in the front lines where it needs to be. And is 50 going mythic? Yes, he is. 50 is going through mythic. Let's see how close he is. He's up 75% Artemis. An earthquake over here, down in this palace, down in this TC. That would be absolutely brutal. That would be a really, really good earthquake spot. 50's also got the fortress up. He's got some Petrobullet coming in. And right now, AttyMonsta, he just doesn't have the right unit composition to deal with the Petrobullets. He doesn't have enough hack damage units. Most of his army here is just Terma, and this destroyer, it's just not got enough damage to be able to take out the Petrobullets. The Petrobullets are going to be able to start withering away at this palace, and our Mythic Age comes through for 50. Let's see where he's going to earthquake. It's likely going to be this location. That'll be a really, really strong earthquake. It's going to take out this palace. It's going to take out this counter barracks. It's going to take out the market and this town center, and maybe even the armory if he uses it deep enough. And we see earthquake comes down. All of these buildings are going down now for AttyMonsta, and this might be just a turnaround here. That looks pretty bad for AttyMonsta. If 50 can keep up the pressure here and keep this TC down, that's going to be really good for him. Meanwhile, a bit of a missed opportunity here. This Lampades, it's still got a special up. It should be using a special on the Chimera, but this Chimera instead is just doing work on the Chimera. You see Underworld Passage being used in the front lines. It's being used back in his home base. The Tartarian Gate has been casted here, and it's killing a few villagers, but it's not doing all too much. It's not doing all too much. And the Petrobulli, they're coming right out of the Underworld Passage to kill this Tartarian Gate. We've got 3 Petrobullis so far, and they're killing the Tartarian Gate very, very, very fast. A 4th Petrobolus comes in. So this Tartarian Gate, it's not going to stay up very long or do very much damage. So that's a really nice usage of Underworld Passage to remove this Tartarian Gate. The Earthquake, on the other hand, really, really strong power, just clearing out all the buildings in this area. You know, the Tartarian Gate just not doing very much, thanks to the excellent Underworld Passage of 50 Shades. 50 now has 5 Petrobulli, no, 6 Petrobulli over here. So if he makes a few buildings and a few walls, then this TC is going to be really, really difficult to get up for AttyMonsta. And that appears to be 50's goal right now, to stop AttyMonsta from ever taking this TC and just have a big population advantage, which you usually do anyway against an Atlantean that has gone through Hyperion instead of Thea. You see, 10 citizens over here for AttyMonsta trying to get this TC up, but that's not going to work. He needs army to remove these Petrobullos, not 10 citizens. He needs more military production, needs more units coming out of the buildings. You don't need these bireams over here. They want to be deleted. That's what AttyMonsta needs, not these units over here. He's actually got 10 idle military units. Yeah, his army is all the way over here, in fact. They're completely out of position. Meanwhile, 50's units, they're a lot weaker because they are missing upgrades. These guys are not even medium yet. Meanwhile, Atty has gotten his heavy line upgrades. They're a lot weaker, but there are way more of them because Atty's army is just out of position, and he is on 2 town centers. He has got a lot of population just in citizens and fishing ships, so he's going to be struggling to get this 3 TC back from looking at the way they are now. But I'm not sure how he feels right now, because looking at the score, it looks like AttyMonsta is still doing pretty fine. But like this is not, like, on the field, it doesn't look good at all. Doesn't look good at all. 4 units coming over here. Finally, this is 10 pop-up army right here, coming here to aid in the fight. But they were already low when they started joining in, so they might not be enough. You see loads of citizens now falling for AttyMonsta. You see 7 citizens falling already. This citizen as well, only on 12 health, about to go down as well. Another citizen falls. This citizen is low. These guys, like, AttyMonsta right now is trying to spam towers right at the front. But that's not what he should be doing. He really needs more military buildings. And he's also got these 2 military buildings in the back that are turned off. He really needs as much army as he can to fill into this location. These towers aren't going to do anything against the Petroboli that 50 is moving into this location. 50 now, getting better and better army upgrades. He's got heavy archers now. So he's now even on the upgrades with AttyMonsta. 50 is now even, actually slightly ahead since he has copper weapons, while AttyMonsta doesn't. And he's got all these towers in this location. This is starting to look really sketchy for AttyMonsta. AttyMonsta may have won the water, but he's not using the resources that he won. He's got 3,000 gold, he's got 2,000 food, and he's got 700 wood, but none of that is army. None of that is helping to secure this TC. And if this TC gets denied and 50 builds it, I don't see AttyMonsta winning this game against in that situation. He is trying to build buildings, he's trying to build the palace now, but that's not going to do anything when these Petroboli are just right here. Really needs to be just making as many military backs as he can to just start flooding out units and get his population back on track. He's on only 100 population. This really shouldn't be the case. He's got enough resources to make army, but he's just not making army. He's finally noticed that the military barracks in the back aren't making units and they are turned on now, but these units, they're just running in one at a time and being picked off. Not a good situation. Not a good situation at all. The towers as well. For 50. He's now building a fortress up front. Toxicity are now going to move in. A palace is... An attempt at the palace is going to be built, but palaces, they take a very long time to build, and these citizens, they don't look like they're going to be able to finish this palace. And we see now 50 actually is getting quite a substantial score lead, so he was behind the score most of the game for having lost water, but now it's getting worse and worse for AttyMonsta. He's lost 12 citizens total, and if we look here, he's only got 18 citizens. 50 Shades also finding his gold mine on this side of the map. Having finished his gold mine, he's walked up to this gold mine, and AttyMonsta has not quite secured it. These villagers just being bullied right now by the Greek ones. And another citizen gets picked off. And this citizen is probably going to fall as well. The army of the Greek player now, just look at that. Look at how big it is. Meanwhile, for our Atlantic player, AttyMonsta, he's got barely anything. He's got these 2 Conturious in the back that don't even have any upgrades, and he taps out. Wow, so that was a... Yeah, I did not expect the game to turn out like that. I did not expect this sort of forward build on the TC to work like that. So we see 50. 50 going for the more land-centric play this game and taking the win eventually, though in part due to the lack of production from Machiavelli, him just having so many resources but not being able to convert it into army fast enough was quite bad for him. So a very big contrast in what happened between these 2 games. In the previous game, we saw 50 Shades win the water, and the game dragged on all the way to the Mythic Age. In this game, we see AttyMonsta win the water, and 50 Shades managing to put some good pressure on land and deny this town center from AttyMonsta with the help of Earthquake. Perhaps it might have been good for AttyMonsta to try to just spam more buildings around here to absorb some of the earthquake damage. In fact, he was just lacking in military buildings in general, which was, I think, a big part of the reason why he lost. He was actually in a pretty decent position. The Mythic Age God Power as well, to Tyrant Gate, that was very weak. It achieved very little, apart from just trading for the Underworld Passage. That was a really good use of Underworld Passage, bringing them back, along with the 6 Petrobolos to clear out this Underworld Passage. So, unfortunate for Machiavelli, he got a little bit unlucky with the maps this time. 50 getting Mediterranean twice, which is the map that you really want as Greek against Oranos. And it looks like 50 will be moving on to the semi-finals, where he will be facing GrandMonsta next. GrandMonsta being the top seed of the tournament and also the top rated player on ladder, definitely a very strong player, so we'll see how 50 manages to cope with that. Let's have a look at the post game. We see AttyMonsta actually doing better on the unit kill death, but then he just wasn't able to get anything done with a Tartarian Gate. Just had lots of idle time with the citizens, I felt like, walking around. And over here, he just didn't have the production to fight off this TC by 50 Shades. Look at all resources total, it's actually tied neck and neck. And then 50 Shades eventually overtakes him with an Atlantean economy falling off eventually due to the citizen limit and just being slightly ahead here. So it's a good game. It was really interesting to see. We saw the same god path for both of the players in both of these games. I was really hoping that we would see something else, like Hades maybe going Athena. I mean, Athena is the more popular option, but not for 50 Shades. And maybe Oceanus on this map as well. I did mention that it's in the other video. Oceanus can be an idea on Mediterranean. Carnivora is really strong at helping you win water. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching.